Agud Bachra Boisai. Live from Chicago, from Chodorov. Nice tzibur here. Last week I showed you a black suit that Moshe Kinsbursky made for me as a gift. He made me a second one. Also, came out. Thank you very much. Came out the same suit. Let me show you this one. Now, if you know, it says Yedidya, but I once wore a strimal during COVID, and they took a picture, and they made a bobblehead out of it. Harry Shalom from Los Angeles. Okay, kids, that's the shtick over here. Rabbi, I just want to mention to the Olam before we start. I said I'm going to announce it, so I'm going to announce it today. The Shabbaton. Save the date. The Shabbaton it's also the Siyum on Masechtas Bava Basra. Mamash comes out December 20th to the 22nd. So right now the website is open for sponsors only. We already had one guy on Friday who came in and bought 25 rooms. He's a big sponsor, but the website is open for sponsors. I have a feeling that we're going to sell out very quickly this year. That's my hargasha, especially after that guy took 25 rooms. So it was again, to remind Olam, whoever was there, it was probably my favorite Shabbos of all time. And yeah, over there, it's good. And I highly recommend it. It was a very inspiring, very emotional Shabbos, and very, very kedai. If you can do it and afford it, it's kedai. It's about $1,000 a person. It was unbelievable. We had Reb Waiway last year. We had Reb Ari Ben Shushan. This year we have a few surprise guests we're working on, and it's going to be unbelievable. All right. A few emails. Let me see what we got here. Rebellion mentioned in today's share against people that have yellow talis with a hole in it before Rav Shimshon ben Rafal Hirsch. Was the Rav in Frankfurt. He was the chief rabbi of Moraiva. Where's that? He made a takana that no one is allowed to come to shul with the torn talis. It's designed for the shul. It also says, "Tasna." I can go to be kind, but there are those that do go with all the talisim. If it's like a Yerusha or something like that. Yeah, there is something like that. This is a person who says that he, even though he's in the hospital and he had a stent put in, he still kept on doing the shir, and he lost consciousness, and they had to revive him, and he did the shir and everything. He wants to know if now that he is new to this world, Kilo, does he deserve a new Gemara? Is that as if he's a new person that started this year and maybe he can get a free Gemara? That was the Shiloh. Okay, Yaakov from Yerushalayim Kodesh. Yeah. Oh, that's right.
It's worth the 2 minutes.
Yeah.
It sounds a lot better with the mic.
You see that little box over there? Oh, it does. Shkoyach, thank you. This was a Friday shir, so a kid on Zoom was watching the shir but peeling potatoes for the kogel or the shul, whatever it was. Okay, you missed it. Boys, I got to share this with you. When I saw this video coming up, I cried a little bit. I don't think you will, but for me it was very, very emotional. It's a story about a chayal who was in Gaza for 100 days, and he didn't miss a single daf of Gemara, not one day did he miss. And as his father is saying the story, I was thinking to myself, it's unbelievable that what he must have gone through during those 100 days that sometimes you don't sleep, sometimes the stress and they don't take off their shoes for weeks at a time. They go to sleep in their boots, and not to miss a single day. And then he went ahead, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, he went ahead and he donated over $1,000 worth of Gemaras just because I saw his name come up. I was like, oh, Tuvi Eisman. Anyway, as he came back, I don't know, as a course of Toiv for being a lot, I don't know, it was a Gishmak. So Tuvi Eisman, who lives in RBS, came back to Pesach to see his parents after spending 100 days in Gaza. He spoke to the community one night, and his father, Rabbi Eisman, wanted to share a nice message for you and what MDY did for his son during the difficult time. Please see attached video. Thank you again for all you do, for the chizuk you give this constantly growing MDY Mishpacha, Yoni Merzel, Passaic, New Jersey. The boy said, here's his father.
I just want to mention something that Tuvia did not mention. During the time that he was in battle, during the time that he spent Shabbosim in full uniform, with his boots, full uniform with his gun, sitting in an armored vehicle over Shabbos. During that time, he never missed a Daf Yomi. Eli Stefansky, should live and be well, was one of the largest Daf Yomi shiurs, mentioned him in the shiur, and Tuvia sent him a picture. There you see that Tuvia has in the armored vehicle in the Jeep. He's listening to Rabbi Stefansky not to miss the Daf Yomi during that time. We can't get anything more authentic or more genuine. We just have to go down to David HaMelech himself. In Perek Yud Ches, when David sings to Hashem, Hashem.
All right. Just wanted to wish you my Akaras Atoiv. I'm an elder Habocher currently, I don't know, in a yeshiva's kites in Pennsylvania. I'm teaching a group of shir based Shviktana Bachrim, and recently they've been losing interest in the Gemara that we were learning. I was unsure what to do when suddenly it hit me to play a shir to the class. Baruch Hashem, the class totally fell in love with the shir. It's just so electrifying to feel that you were part of something bigger. Baruch Hashem, they mamish got involved and a pashat excited to learn Gemara. Thank you, Reb Eli. After the shir, I took a picture of the class. Thank you, Natzlocha Rabba. Here is the picture of the class. Gewaldig. All right, here we are. Yedidya Pereira is the Kala of the week. Please daven for pidyon Shvuim Yedidya Usher Yehuda ben Michal, incarcerated, denied bail in Ireland. The Masechus Basra safe and speedy return of all the hostages. Parnas Chodesh, Linishma Zechrya ben Moshe, Linishma Zechrya bas Yosef. By Yedidya Pereira, please daven for pidyon Shvuim Yedidya Usher Yehuda ben Michal, Parnas Chodesh, the whole month, incarcerated, denied bail in Ireland. Parnas Hayom, the Schachters, my son's third yarteit, Habocher, Chaim, Yisroel, Yitzchok, ben Ahron. Shama should have an aliyah, and we shouldn't know from any more tsaras. All right, Rabbi Yisai, here we are on Daf Mem Vav Amud Beis, 5 lines from the bottom. Question I have for the Olam is, what happens if you grab a woman's hand with gloves maybe, and you put a ring on her finger and you say, I read Mekudeshesli, and she doesn't say anything? Mekudesh or not Mekudesh? You say yes. Well, the Gemara over here says, if you're going to bring a right from the Gemara over here, the Gemara says at the end that it's not really Mekudesh. What? Anybody else? Okay. You're right. That should be the halacha. And we're going to start the sugya, very interesting sugya. The Gemara starts off, Amalek Simon. Amalek, I think it's the Yavitz asks famously, says, we're supposed to mochet timcha zeich Amalek. So why are we bringing Amalek into the picture at all? Why would he use him? It wasn't to be malad in itzoitzes and in order to remember Torah. And that's the way to remember it. So, okay, we'll give it. There's a famous Maisa, I'll just say it to the Olam, those who don't know. It's a vitz that the Hasidim like to say. Amalek, on Parshas Zachar, Shabbos Zachar, so the Hasidim that eat the 4 types of kugel. Apple, meal, lokshin, and kartoffel. Means apple, flour, lokshin, and potato kugel. But if we're already going to talk about Amalek, I have to talk about her who ran around with a rope around his neck. And what's pshat? He says, because he's chayshish that he might have some some zecher of Amalek in his genes, and if he ever finds out that he's Amalek, he wants to be able to kill himself without any hesitation and very quickly. And now we start. That was the Musa de V'lichusa. And on a serious note, Amalek, they say, a lot of people say that one of the people that is contending for presidency has the letters of Amalek in their name. K, L, M, whatever, something like that. I'm not going to go into it, but as I say, huh? Okay. Tana Rabbanan. Orev Meid Laloiva. So, of course, we know the halacha that you're not allowed to testify, you're not allowed to say eidos to somebody that's biased. If you're biased, you can't testify. An Orev is a guarantor. L'chayra, an Orev should be biased to the one that borrowed money. Why? Because if the person that doesn't borrow money, the person that borrows money, if he doesn't pay, you're going to go straight to the Orev. Here, just to show you how it looks. You have a lender and a borrower and an Orev, the guarantor. The loiva gets money. If he doesn't pay back, he shoos the malva away. If he doesn't pay back, then the malva goes directly to the Orev, the guarantor, and he takes money. Now, the Gemara says, Orev meid la loiva. The guarantor could testify about property owned by the loiva. Now, if the loiva has a property, then the Orev is off the hook. He's going to go after the property. So then he's biased to that property. How could he testify? Says the Gemara, if the loiva has a second property, so if he testifies about a second property, or a first property, it doesn't make a difference because either way, the loiva will have a property to pay from, so it doesn't make a difference what the Arev's testimony is. Now, if there's another chayv, so the Rashbam goes into that's already a step away from the problem, so that's really not considered biased. If he has he took out other loans, we're not concerned about that. Another halach, malva meid la loiva. Unbelievable. The lender could testify about the property of the borrower. Why? Because the loiva, we're talking about, he has another piece of property, and therefore the malva himself will go after the other piece of property. If there are two purchasers, then the first purchaser could testify for the second purchaser. So we have a beautiful drawing here. Everything's explained very, very simply. Here we go. There's a guy by the name of Reuven. He has, let's say, 3 properties. He sells one property to Shimon. When? In Iyar. Iyar comes before Tammuz. So Shimon is 1. He's buyer number 1. Comes Levi, and he also buys 2 properties from Reuven. He's buyer number 2. So the Gemara says, Keach Rishon, the first buyer, could testify on behalf of Levi to say that, he bought these properties. What's the concern here? There's a problem that if Levi owes money, so if Reuven owes money, the guy all the way on the right owes money to the guy all the way on the left. The guy all the way on the left, if there's no money, if Reuven doesn't have money, he's going to go after properties that Reuven sold. Which property does he go after first? The one he sold last. She's going to go after Levi's property. Here, let's do that again. Comes Yehuda and says, Reuven, you owe me money. He's going to grab a property from Levi. Says the Gemara. Now let's go to the next step. Well, it's not a problem for Shimon to go ahead and testify in court on behalf of Levi. Why? Because Levi has 2 properties. And even if this guy all the way on the left is owed money by Reuven, he'll go after property number 2. So it's okay to testify about property number 3. That's what the Gemara says. Shimon, who's the first buyer, he could testify on behalf of Levi, who's the second buyer, provided that Levi has a second piece of property. Now, take a look at this picture right over here. Can buyer number 2, Levi 2, can he testify for Shimon number 1? Yes or no? So the Rishbam says be'etzem yes, but provided that there's no achrayis. Okay, there's a difference if there's achrayis or no achrayis. Okay.
How did you know that Shimon bought the property?
He was there. Testifies.
So he came after.
He was there. No, just because he came after, he bought property after, doesn't mean that you don't know. You know, your neighbor bought a house. You know that he bought a house. So what if he moved in? You moved in a year later, but you were there. You were at the sale. That's not a shayla. Says the Gemara another halacha. Kablon. Oh, so for this we need to go over here. There's something called Arev Kablon. Arev Kablon, according to everybody, means at least one part. According to everybody, means that he's an Arev. He's a guarantor, but he's much stronger than a guarantor. He tells the lender, you can come to me directly. You don't even have to go to the loiva. You don't have to call the loiva and wait until the loiva doesn't pay you and then take the loiva to Bezdin and then come to me. I'm the guarantor. Come to me directly. The Rashbam adds that he actually took the money from the malva and then he gave it to the loiva. He's the middleman. So the malva doesn't even care about the loiva. He goes directly to the Arev Kablon. Other Rishonim say you don't have to come on to that. By the way, there's 50 people on Zoom. Unbelievable. Shalom Aleichem to all the guys on YouTube. What is it? YouTube? YouTube. Very nice. Kablon. Again, so if I ask you, what's a Arev Kablon? What are you going to say? You learned a new thing. Well, not everybody. Arev Kablon means a guarantor that's a very strong guarantor that you can come to him first. So, this is machlokes. Amrlo meid, v'amrlo eino meid. There are those who say that he could testify on behalf of the borrower, and some say you cannot. What's the Mishayla? Amrlo meid carved dummy. He's an Arev. Look, it says in his name, Arev. So some people say, oh, it's just my phone. I forgot to put the do not disturb. You have to remind me after shir for the next year. Amrlo meid carved dummy. He's a regular Arev. Amrlo eino meid. Why? The Arev Kablon wants the loiva to have 2 fields. Why? Because if he has 2 fields, according to the Rishbam at least, there are different grades. There's a Beinoni and there's a Ziburis. If he only has bad stuff, then the lender is going to go to who? He's going to go right away to the guarantor. So the lender, the guarantor wants the borrower to have 2 fields. He wants him to have a better field. So give it an incentive to the lender to go after the borrower instead of coming to him and grabbing the guarantor's field. That makes him what? That makes him biased. He shouldn't be able to testify. He'll have what to take from. Ben Uman Yeshli Chazaka. Okay, very, very simple, but we do have a chart for this. We have 3 people here. We have a Ganav on the left side. We have a Uman, dry cleaners. That's what we're talking about, the typical craftsman. And we have an Aris. Aris is a person who is a sharecropper. He works in the field. We said in the Mishnah that a Uman doesn't have a Chazaka. Aris doesn't have a Chazaka. Gazan certainly doesn't have a Chazaka. Just because he wears your clothing doesn't mean anything. Okay. Omar Reb Elchanan, a few people sent in emails. I don't know if I should mention the guy's name in shir, but there's a very famous comedian that had a very famous TV show over, I don't know, 10 years ago, whatever it was. And he has a famous scene. They sent me the things, a few people. You have to see that this guy, this Jewish comedian, he gave his stuff in the dry cleaner, And then later on, a few days later, he went to a movie and he sees the head of the guy, the dry cleaner guy, wearing his jacket, his chashavek coat. And the guy denied it. But then he found the movie ticket inside the pocket. The kids are, so he says, so give me back my wife's fur coat. Right now. The guy says, I can't. And you see the wife sitting, somewhere eating a hot dog with this comedian's. Kids are, dry cleaners do it. I guess he got it from the Gemara. Uman. I wasn't that meshuggah to show that clip here in the shir. No. Noch nicht. We haven't stooped that low yet. He's Jewish. It's mamish the Gemara. Okay. The actual dry cleaner guy doesn't have a chazaka. That's his job. And we said, Eidim, not Eidim. We had a sugya between Rabba, Baya. But Ben Uman, the kid's not a dry cleaner guy. He's not working for his father, the Rishbam points out. He doesn't work in the business. Here's the chazaka. He could use your clothing and it's fine. Oris, Ein loy chazaka. Here, let's do this. I think this checks up. Okay. Top 3 guys for sure don't have a chazaka. But the 2 guys on the right, the Oris and the Uman, the son of the dry cleaner, the son of the sharecropper, they do have a chazaka. The Ganav doesn't have chazaka. His son. Oris in the chazaka, Ben Oris, there's a chazaka. Gazlan, Uben Gazlan, the Gazlan himself, and the son of a Gazlan. They don't have a chazaka. Ben Benoisha Gazlan, yes, a chazaka. The grandson of the Gazlan has a chazaka. By the way, I just thought about it now. That somebody came over to me and said, I'm doing a siyum tomorrow. Come for the barbecue. I'm like, I don't know what the halacha is exactly. I just thought it's not in the spirit. For me personally, it's not in the spirit of the 9 days. That's not what it was. That we should make hung to siyum. If you have a siyum, you finish new one. You invite your mishpacha. And then I know about these restaurants, and it's not my place to knock them. But every 30 minutes they have a siyum. That's what the halacha meant, that we shouldn't have meat in the 9 days. You should go to a place and fresh like a behemoth. And you don't even know the guy, and he's and then it's like, I have a heter in the mikvah. You're not supposed to use shampoo in the 9 days, but if the guy makes a siyum in the mikvah, maybe the whole mikvah could start using shampoo. Whatever. Okay. It's unbelievable. And when I was younger, we didn't have siyum in the restaurants every 30 minutes. Crazy stuff. I don't know if it's in the spirit. I don't think so. I'm not a Rav. To me, it doesn't. Okay, Zog the Gemara. Oras ein lechazaka, ben oras yesh lechazaka. Ben benoisha gazin yesh lechazaka. Heichi dami. I'm going to kick it out. I'm going to try to go to that restaurant and kick me out. I don't even know what it is, which one it is. I know, it's there. A few restaurants. Ben benoisha gazin yesh lechazaka, heichi dami. Idi, also betayin tzada vuoin. Afilu hanoch namiloi. Now, heichi dami. Well, what's going on here with the son, the grandson? What happened? If they're claiming exactly what the father claimed, that what? He bought it, I don't know what. So then even if you are the son of the dry cleaners, even the son of the sharecropper, it doesn't work. You're coming with the same taina as the father. Now, there's a concept called, just so we're familiar with this and we don't forget these things, tanin and liyasmin. Bezdin claims things for the Yisroel because the Yisroel don't know anything. So perhaps we should claim for the Yasam, stam. The father didn't. It's his own thing. He has his own chazaka. Afilu ben gazlanami. So if we're already claiming for the Yasam, so we could claim for the son of the Ganav. Says the Gemara, no, lo yitzricha. Oh, I forgot to show it. Okay. Lo yitzricha de ka'amri edim b'foneinu hoydaloi. It's going on in all 3 cases. There's hoydas baldin kemei edim dami. Where is it? Oh, hoydas baldin kemei edim dami. When the guy admits, the guy giving in his suit to the dry cleaner says, I sold it to the dry cleaner. The edim say, we heard it. Oh, So Hanoch Iklamimar Kushta Amri. The dry cleaner guy and the Oris are saying the truth. There's no reason to think that the dry cleaner guy is lying. He admitted in front of the dry cleaner, in front of Adam, I sold it to the dry cleaner. So it's not a problem. The dry cleaner's son could use it. Now, what about the dry cleaner himself? There's Adam that said that it was sold to the dry cleaner. How come the dry cleaner can't use it? It's a bomb kasha. There is no good answer for it. The only answer is, says the Rishbam, is that it's a different case. The dry cleaner himself, if he had Adam, he would be able to. But we must say, the Rishbam just says, Dilitzdadam katani. 2 words at the end of the Rishbam. The ratio, it's talking about 2 different cases. We're talking about when we're talking about the son, and it's a little bit of a doichat. We're talking about when the son could use the dry cleaner stuff, is because the Adam testified that it was given to the father. And the father himself, if there's Adam, why shouldn't he be able to wear? Of course he could. But in the case of the father, he doesn't have Adam. But the chiddush, the greater chiddush is that even if there's Adam that say that it was sold to the Ganav, the kids can't use it. Why not? What's the svara? What do you think? No. I see you thinking. Again, Adam say, we saw with our own eyes that the Ganav was sold to the Ganav. The guy gave it to the Ganav. So why can't the kids use it? Oh, when you're talking about a Ganav, he's a bad guy. So I don't trust the Ganav. Yes, Adam saw it. But maybe the guy was so scared of the Ganav because he knows what he did last time to the guy that didn't sell him the suit. He killed him. So he's also. So that's what the Gemara says. But over here, even if you admit that you gave it to the Ganav, he's not believed to the Rav Kahana. And that's what Rav Kahana says. Like Rav Joseph, the Omar of Kahana. If not, they admit to it. He would give you in to the authorities. You, your donkey, the whole thing. There was a Gevaldika Maisa, they say it's a Maisa Shahaya in New York. A guy was on the subway and he was held up and they stole from him like $100,000 worth of stuff. So he went to his Rav and he said, what should we do? This, that. So the Rav said, file a complaint, tell the police that $200,000 was stolen. So they go, why should I say that? Trust me, this is what you have to do. So he filed a complaint, $200,000 stolen. And sure enough, they found the guys. What happened? The head guy, he read in the paper that there was a $200,000 theft on the train. So he went to his guy and said, you guys are stealing from me. You're telling me there's only $100,000. Cough up the other $100,000. And he said, he threatened he's going to kill them. So they went to the police. They themselves told the police they didn't want to die. So that's what it is over here. You know, a bad guy goes, when he gets into trouble, he goes to the police, he snitches on the other guy. Zog the Gemara. Sometimes, when we look at this guy, sometimes the grandchild of the Ganav, all the way on the left, he also we can't make a chazaka. Why? Because if he claims the exact same thing that his grandfather said, then he's no better than the grandfather. That's not a chazaka. Says Gemara, Heichidami Gazlan. What's the case? Which reminded me, there's a famous Baruch Ber. He says, what is a Gazlan? He says, a Gazlan is not somebody that knows how to steal. A Gazlan is somebody that steals. So he tells his Bacharim, so if so, what's a Lamdan? Somebody that knows how to learn? No, somebody that learns. Somebody learns and knows how to learn, but you can't, I know how to learn. Which somebody today told me. Said, no, what's going to be? You're going to learn every day, you're going to learn the Daf. He says, I only do Iyun. So Lamdan. I said, no, but how many times a week do you learn? She starts telling me 5. All of a sudden his wife shows up. She didn't know about the whole conversation. I'm telling you, Maisa Shaya. And through this, I said, listen, you have to convince him to do the Daf because it's 7 days a week, it's every day. So she looks at me and she says, but what do you mean? He learns 2 days a week. He was so embarrassed. He's like, I was telling him 5 days. It turns out, now 5 days, it's only 2 days. I chap. Yeah, even when I didn't believe it when he said 5 days, because I know how it works. It's supposed to be 5 days, but he has a chasana, he has a this, he has a that, a parent-teacher conference, a board meeting. I know how it goes. The kids are mamish today. So it's not good enough to be a lamdan and know how to learn. You have to learn every day. I know how to learn. But anyway, the Gemara says, Heichidami Gazan. Well, what's the case of a Gazan? Omer Reb Elchanan Kigoin Shuhzag Al Sode Zu Begazlanusa. It's a problem with this field only. He's not a ganav. It's not pshat that if you're a ganav, the police call you a thief, so you can never make a chazaka in your life. No. On this field over here, you can't make a chazaka. Why? Because it's known that you stole this. Rav Chizda Omar Kigoin the base pliny shahargim the fashish aliskim mamoy. Oh, this is a family. It's a known family. They kill people for nothing. If you just start out with them, you take some money and they kill you. Oh, so as such a guy, then that's different than the first pshat. The first pshat is only this piece of property you can't do anything with. This pshat is he can never make a chazaka, anything. Why? He's a murderer. He kills people. Another mice because Matzi Shabbos, Favos Nisht. How much time do we? Okay, we're running out of time a little bit. Let's see what Amud Beis looks like. Okay, so I'll just say quickly. A guy comes into a city and he's all proud of himself. He thinks to himself, I'm mamish a chosh of a person. I'm mamish a tzaddik of this. Never sinned in my life. Thinking like this himself. And he hears, in the middle of the night, he's sleeping, he hears like this grinding sound. And 2 minutes later, the owner of the house comes flying into his room with a sharp knife. He realizes the guy was sharpening his knife. He says, the guy tells him, I'm about to shecht you. He says, shecht me, why? He says, listen, this city over here, we have everything. We have everything. We have all the best restaurants, everything. One thing we don't have. We don't have kivrei tzaddikim. And because he's such a tzaddik, we figure I'm going to shecht you. We're going to have a kivrei tzaddikim. So the guy says, no, I'm not a tzaddik. What are you talking about? I did this Aveira, this Aveira. You're not a tzaddik. Okay, good. I needed to put a knife to your neck so you chap, that the gaiva should fly out. You're such a bakaiva. You thought you're perfect. You're not so perfect. Okay, I chap. Okay, good. Look at the Gemara. Arguing the fashists, they kill people just to have a kever tzaddikim or something. Oh, so that we said, yeah? Why not? We'll show the Mishnah. Uman, says in the Mishnah, there's no chazaka. They can't do a chazaka. But Yoram also says the Gemara, a guy lost his business or he retired. Yesh chazaka. Then of course, if he has a suit, he's wearing a suit. It says. Chaim says famously, if you see a store that you shop in a lot and it's closed, so what are you going to say? He probably went on vacation, summer. I don't know. He's closed for a few hours. But if the sign is missing, that's it. That means the store is over. You're never going to see that store again. So he said about somebody that's not Shomer Shabbos. Yeah, is it. But if you're not Shomer Shabbos, you take out the Shomer Shabbos part of the sign, then it's all. Then it's a lost. For now, it's lost at least. He's not a real Jew. Aris in the chazaka. A sharecropper cannot do 3 years in the field. What do you mean? He works there for many years. Once he's done, once he's not an artist anymore, he's not related to this property anymore, so he could do a chazaka. The owner will say, what are you doing here? You don't belong here. Ben Shechalak, a son that split up with his father, so to speak, that's it, he moved out. V'ishoshin is garsha, and a woman who got divorced. So it's a big chiddush on the son. A woman, if she gets divorced and she's seen in the ex-husband's field for 3 years, obviously she did a chazaka, otherwise the ex-husband will throw her out. It says, I need to tell us the chiddush about a son. A father, okay, so he moved out, but which father's going to make a protest to his son that he's sitting in my field? Get out of here. We're father-son relation. No, father would tell his son, no, Tzaddik, that's it. You moved out. You have no business being on my field. A woman who gets divorced, pshita. I don't know, I'm sure everybody in this room knows somebody that got divorced. One of the worst things ever, no? You see two from people fighting like some of the judges say they've never seen things like that in the secular world. They don't really see this. The wife accuses the husband of being a this and a that and a drug addict, and the drug addict is like one of the best things he could accuse. And he did this to the kids and that, and he says this. We were just talking about the father of your own kids, the mother of your own kids. So somebody like that, I'm going to let her sit in my field? The biggest enemy, the Rashbam says. Shari soinim zeh. They hate each other. So, obviously, pshita, of course it's a good chazaka. Tzricha, says the Gemara, Daf Yomi Amud Beis, b'mugureshes ve'in mugureshes. We're talking about, here, we're talking about this case. We had this in Gittin. This is the husband on the left. He throws a get to his wife, and it lands somewhere. We don't know exactly if it's within her 4 Dalet Amas or his 4 Dalet Amas. So now it's a suffix if they're divorced. Okay, so it's a suffix of the divorce. So what do you do? In such a case, since the husband still has to support her, so I would think he says, okay, so take my field, we're ready, I still have to do business with you, so you can stay in my field. No, it's not a chazaka. He'll throw her out of there. The turning of a daf, sponsored by Yisroel Share, construction management and supervision in the life share community, protecting families today before tomorrow's unexpected loss, and by Kidnovations LLC in honor of my Uncle Reb Elchanan Pressman and Fishel, and as a zechus for Akiva Simcha Ben Fayga, and the Rivka Yehudis bas Yafo Chayo, Shiduchim Bekoroiv. Zog the Gemara. Omer Rav Nachman. Omar Lihuna, Kulon, Shevi Raya. Here, let's go back. Why not? If Kobe already did this, we might as well show it. All these, in other words, the cases in the Mishnah, Oris cannot do a chazaka on his dry cleaning. I mean, on the fruit. The Uman can't do chazaka on the dry cleaning. Kulon Shevi Raya. This is zero chiddush. The Rashbam says pashat. If you bring Eidim, so you have Eidim. If you bring a star, you have a star. Of course, you can do. It's yours. So why are we saying it's no chiddush? Here's the point. Gazlan shivi raya, just to make a distinction and say a gazlan who brings edim, he has a star in rayas raya. So now this is going to give us a sugya, a famous sugya of Telu v'Zavin. That's tomorrow's sugya. You have a ganav, you have a bad guy who forces people to sell stuff to him. The Gemara says, this man holds, it's not good. You can't, just because he has a raya that it was sold, nothing. Michael Mashman. Tanina. Listen to this rabbi said, this is a kiss from Hashem. What day is it today? Today is Zayin, right? Zayin of. That's the day that the Churban started. That's when they they went into Yerushalayim. So this is when they went into the Heichel. This is also the beginning of the sugyas that you learn in Gittin on Tisha B'Av. The sugya of Kamtza Bar Kamtza. How does the whole sugya start? Sikrikon. Tanina Lokam is Sikrikon. If you purchase a field from a non-Jew who forces people and kills people if you don't sell it to him, so let's say you get a great deal. The guy's not interested. You give him, there's a nice house on the block. He chopped it from the Jew. You give the guy $100,000. He walks away. He doesn't care. He needs to do a quick sale. Then you go to the real owner and you pay him the $500,000 the house is worth. No good. It's not a sale. Mekre batal. It's batal. So what do you see? That if somebody forces you to sell like the Sikri coin, it doesn't work. It's not a good sale. So what are you telling me a chiddush? What kind of chiddush are you telling me? We know this halacha. So I wanted to say that Rav is wrong. When do we say that the guy has no right to sell to you? When the Jew says, he says, verbally he says, go ahead and make a kinyan. Rav says that if a Jew writes a shtar, that's a raya that he really intended to sell. Even though he's forced, but he saw there was money involved. Okay, so he sold it and he wrote a legitimate document. And that's what the Gemara is coming to tell us. The Allah is like Shmuel, the Omar. The shtar doesn't help us. If the Jew goes out of his way, instead of writing a shtar, he also sticks in a guarantee. Oh, that means that he's serious about the sale, even though he's slightly forced. No, he's Michael, the guy, he's making nice money over here. He's also forced with the gun, he doesn't like guns, and he also got a $500,000 check. Okay, he sold it. But that's only when he writes a shtar and puts in there that there's a chrayis nechasa. Says the Gemara, "V'Rabivi Mesayim bo Mishmeder Rav Nachman." What's this? I'm just trying to see what this is. No, not important. Rabivi says in the name of Rav Nachman, Karka ein loy avamois yesh. Okay, so we're going to see tomorrow, Be'ezer Hashem, the sheet of Rav Huna, the Talui v'Zav and Zvina, that if somebody's forced to sell, it's a good sale. Rav Nachman argues over here. Karka ein loy avamois yesh. This Ganav, he doesn't get to hold on to the money, to the karka. But we said, what happens if the Bava Basra, he went ahead and he paid for it. The Gemara says, the Ganav gets his money back. That the owner counted. He counted the money. They didn't see counting of the money. He admitted that he got money. And this is what we said before. Then we have a different problem. Nobody's believed. No person is believed to say, oh, the bad guy that kills everybody, that doesn't do his will, look, he admitted that he sold it to him. No. If he's counting money, so no, that's a sale. Even though he's forced, it's a sale. But just verbally saying, oh yeah, no, I sold it to that guy. The head of the mafia, yeah? I don't know if you had the zechus. I lived in New York, in Kensington. Actually, the guy that we bought our house from was in the mafia. The guy across the street was a shtickle, connection to the mafia. But Bensonhurst, full of mafia guys. People live it. If a mafia guy comes to you and says, hey, I don't know, Chicago, they didn't really have this here. Maybe I know Al Capone, but not in these neighborhoods. When you live in Brooklyn, you live the mafia, back then at least. John Gotti, Mom, it's just a few blocks away. You're fearful. The guy says, hey, I need to sell you. You gotta sell me your house. You sell the house. You don't even ask questions. If not, you end up in a parking lot in cement, the bottom of the Hudson River. So that's what it says over here. Just because the guy said, I sold it to him, it means nothing because you're scared of him. He's gonna give. The Gemara says he's gonna report you to the authorities. It means you're scared. But if you counted money and you went like this, the Edom saw that there was money involved. So he's Tony from the mafia, but Tony from the mafia paid. Oh, he paid and everything. So that's different. Then it's a real sale. Rabboisai, Agutavoch. Have a great week. Yishkoyach tomorrow, Be'ezer Hashem. 7 and 8 o'clock. 7 in Hebrew, 8 o'clock. No, how does it go? Which one is first? 7 in Hebrew, 8 o'clock in English. But Erev Tisha B'Av, because we cannot learn past Chatzos, the two shirim are going to be 12 and 1? Maybe 11 and 12. Okay, so we'll have the real time. Is a Matzeh Tisha B'Av, same time as today, 10:30 in English, 11:30 in Hebrew. And for that, the Olam should daven for me. Rabbi say 11 and 12 on Erev Tisha B'Av. Which one is first? English at 11, Hebrew at 12. Have a gewaldige week.